Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, cause it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah. Happy Friday. Yeah, bitches. All right. Time to get down and get crazy. Got a couple emails here to jump onto right away. You were talking yesterday about your weird pregnancy dream that you had, Virginia.
Yes.
Jaber was psychoanalyzing it, going in depth about what it could mean, possibly projects, you know, the baby being kind of a different form of that. And
symbol.
Yes, right. Natalie sent an email here and said, I just wanted Virginia to know that she's not the only one having weird pregnancy dreams, even when they aren't pregnant. I've had a few crazy ones lately. In the first one, I gave birth to a baby girl, and then I ate it with a knife and fork.
Oh, my gosh.
Well,
that is horrific.
That's a little odd. Yeah, that's odd. I then had another one where I gave birth to a beautiful Asian baby girl. But I'm not Asian, and neither is my husband. So I was panicked thinking that my husband was going to accuse me of cheating on him. But he and everyone else in the delivery room didn't even notice that the baby was Asian.
Aw. Well, that's good.
Okay.
You don't want the baby to feel unloved.
Don't know what that means.
There's something going on with her. She's holding on to something. She's not coming forward with some information she's been holding back on. That's what
Maybe it's that she's cheating on her husband.
I'm not saying that, but there's something she's got a secret deep down inside her.
Okay. No, thank you very much. I'm glad we got Jaybird here to sort all this stuff out.
I always wanted to adopt an Asian baby. I thought it would be the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I love the Asian culture. It's my favorite food. It's my number one place I want to go visit.
We could do a Hodakapi.
I know.
Yeah.
She's adopting babies right and left. She just
she
got
is.
another one this week. Good for her.
Crazy. She does all that stuff. Is it an expensive process?
Well, she makes a good bit of money. I'm sure she's got a lot of help. And then I'm sure that, between, whatever she's making on the Today Show, she can hire nannies to take care of the babies when she's not there.
Okay. Got second part of this email from Natalie. She said, my aunt told me that when she was pregnant with my cousin, that she had a dream that she came out and she was born at the age of 16 at birth. She was tall. She had dark hair. My cousin is now 19, so this dream happened quite a while ago. But my aunt swears that when her daughter was 16, she looked exactly like the girl from the dream she kept having when she was pregnant.
Interesting.
That's weird. So her baby comes out at the age of 16, looks a certain way, and then when her daughter did come out and turn 16, she was a spitting image of, and it was a reoccurring dream.
A premonition, perhaps.
That's interesting.
Very interesting. To get off of the dream thing, it's sort of like having one of those weird moments. It wasn't a dream, but I remember I was like 6 years old. And I got out of the car. We were at this garage sale at St. Clair's Church, and it was like looking into the future. There was a guy who looked just like me. I mean, identical to the hair, to the walk, to everything, and he was probably a good 15 or 20 years older than me, and it looked just like me now.
How old were you?
I was probably 7 or 8 years old, and my mom and Ann go, that guy looks just like you. That's bizarre. That is bizarre. Bizarre.
It was you in your 20s.
It was weird. I remember looking at that guy going, wow, it does look like me. It was odd.
Huh. Yeah, how do you explain those kind of weird moments?
I do think we all have doppelgangers.
Absolutely. I met mine one time. She was a bartender in the French Quarter, and she was awesome.
But she looked,
she looked like me, and she sounded like me, and she was cuter, but she was fun. She was a bartender, and she was killing it.
Because there's a lot of people who do resemble the Kevin Ralston. They don't look identical, but they are like 95% Ralston. It's weird.
Well, when you have that, if you say you meet your doppelganger, it would have to kind of, in a sense, be a mutual recognition, right?
Oh, we both said it. We were at the bar. I'll never forget. It was Molly's in the French Quarter, and I walked in, and she just glanced up at us, and then she took a second look, and she was like, holy moly. And everybody in my group, I was with a group of people, and everybody in the group was like, oh my gosh, you too. And then she started talking, and she had the same raspy, I just ate glass kind of voice that I have. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's cool.
It was so fun. I had the most fun, like just cutting up with her, and she was like hotter than me. So I was like, "Oh yeah, I want to look like that."
The thing that made my moment weird was the guy was staring at, he was staring at me, and we were staring at him, but he wasn't like right next to us. It was fucking weird, man. I wonder where that guy's at right now.
Yeah, what was his name? What was his story?
I wonder if the Indian Kevin Ralston is still at the Cumberland Farms I used to go to back in the day. He
looks like me, but he's Indian.
He looked just like you, but he was Indian, and that was bizarre.
Bizarre,
because he had your eyes and everything.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what would you do? Like, okay, if somebody comes up and be going, "Oh my gosh, like we could be twins. You're like my doppelganger," and you look at him and you're going,
No, we don't.
I'm definitely the cuter twin.
You're ugly.
Right? I'd be like, yeah, boy.
Well, there's always a cuter one.
That's what I'm wondering.
Always.
So if you are the cuter one, you're like going,
I don't look that much like you.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of insulting, actually. You think I look like you?
There's a Curb Your Enthusiasm where this woman's husband dies, and she goes, Larry David, you look just like my husband. She shows him a picture, and it doesn't really. He's just a bald guy. He's like, no offense, but he looks nothing like me. Right. He's offended by it.
Because you could be going, wait, you think I look like you? I don't know about that. Christina sent us his email, said, hey guys, longtime listener, I moved up to the Panhandle a few months before Hurricane Michael. Ironically, I live about 20 miles from that Mariana Boys School you guys were talking about on the ATS.
Really?
The first time I drove by it, I was horrified to find out it's a boys' school. It looks like a creepy old prison with tall fences and barbed wire around the top with wood surrounding it.
Oh my god.
The buildings are old and crumbling, and it just has a creepy aura. Later, I found out about the deaths there and wasn't surprised. The rumor is that they are planning on demolishing it and building a huge housing development that will no doubt end up being haunted.
Oh my gosh, there's poltergeist right there.
Also, the public schools here still paddle kids for bad behavior. The principal at my daughter's high school has it hanging on the wall of his office, and my daughters come home and tell us who got paddled that day. Luckily, my girls are pretty well behaved, and I think the kids have to do something pretty bad to get paddled. But the school also does random drug tests on students up here also. I guess these county folk are just trying to keep their children honest.
Wow.
She listens all the way from her farm to the podcast.
I didn't know they still paddled kids.
Certain parts they do. It's not anymore. That's not something you're going to find very often because most people are like, I don't trust anyone else to have the judgment to do it. And first of all, I don't believe in it myself.
Is that more like in middle America maybe? Or for the schools? Because we never hear about schools paddling kids.
No.
Yeah, I think
it's more like in the backwards area where it's like they haven't caught up to the times.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like what it is.
I mean, a paddle, that shit gonna hurt, man.
Yeah, it is.
They were mean. They were mean motherfuckers back in the day.
Yeah.
My mom had a thing when she was a kid, the cat of nine tails, and that's what she would get hit with. It was this long stick with 9 different belts on it, and you knew you were fucked when that thing came out. Ugh, cat of 9.
9?
Cat of 9 tails is what they called it.
Did you ever get it?
No, it was my mom.
Your mom.
My grandparents had the cat of 9 tails, and she had tales of that shit.
Did she get it a lot?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Anytime that thing would come out, everybody knew they were so fucked.
Damn.
Yeah.
Somebody sent in this story that apparently that Mariana Boys School had a sister school in Okeechobee. And a lot of the same stuff. They say here in this report that came out in 2015, several students at the Florida School for Boys in Okeechobee died in the 1960s, some under questionable circumstances. Among the deaths was a 13-year-old boy who was found floating face down in the school's sewage tank. Another teen was shot dead during an alleged escape attempt.
Oh my gosh.
What the heck, man?
The boy was trying to escape and
Holy
they shot him?
Yes. Holy crap. This is...
The people running this school, if they're still alive, they should be taken out back and shot themselves.
You always think, oh my gosh, how could this happen? But, you always watch these documentaries.
Okeechobee in the 60s.
Just these evil people, man.
Gosh.
Evil. So evil.
As researchers exhumed dozens of remains at the school's sister campus in Marianna, the spotlight is turned toward the Okeechobee campus. They plan on searching the site with cadaver dogs to see that maybe just some kids were killed and buried out in the woods.
Oh
What
my
the
gosh.
shit, man? That has to be a documentary coming up on this.
Heartbreaking.
Florida boys' schools. I mean, both of these. So there's two and one pretty close to us. That's insane.
I don't want to hear anymore. It really upsets me.
All right. Podcast is over. You guys have a good weekend.
No, I mean of that story.
Oh, okay.
You can do other stories. I can't handle it
It's
because
Friday.
It's Friday. I'm trying to get in a good mood for my crawfish party.
You're making it a sad Friday.
I think about this a lot. When things happen bad to kids, I take it home and I think about it, and it just puts me in a bad mood, dude.
Well, if there's any solace, it sounds like a lot of those stories happened in the 60s, at least the one in Okeechobee. But
It'll be interesting to find out the details on this.
And if anybody is still alive that did those things, they need to be tortured.
I mean, from the 60s, you got to think they were, let's just say for argument's sake, they were 21. They're going to be a great deal older now. I'm sure a lot
We
of
can't
them.
do the math, but we know it's a great deal.
They're going to be roughly around 70 to 95 years old. Don't know if they're alive, Virginia.
that's how we handle it. I got this email. Hey, KVJDS, let's talk about money. All right, I like money.
Woohoo, money, money.
And cathedrals, and history, and global issues. And how is it possible that millions upon millions of dollars are collected in a matter of hours to rebuild a structure, but it takes years to donate enough money for new hospitals and schools? How sad is it that people turn their heads when they hear that someone needs money for medication, housing, or food, but they rush to rescue an old building and give their last penny? Buildings have been built and burned down before. This is what happens, and it should not be a tragedy. I haven't seen the place and never had it on my list of places to go see, but I can't imagine it being more beautiful than a new house for a family that lost everything during a hurricane or a new toy for a sick child. It drives me crazy. I'm calling out all those people worldwide that have been claiming all week that this man-made building is the greatest thing they've ever seen. I'm sad for you. I've been lucky enough to have seen the Northern Lights on a cold night in Iceland, giant glaciers in the Patagonia, and the majestic Grand Canyon, just to list a few. No building can compare to the beauty of nature, to life, and to being good and generous to other people, not buildings. Pamela's take on the rebuilding of Notre Dame. I believe they've gotten over $1 billion now to rebuild that structure. And it is an interesting question to ponder, to take pause, to say, yes, we are very quick to do that. And maybe sometimes our financial priorities are not in alignment.
Do they need $1 billion to rebuild it?
I don't know. That would be a great question. And then, the question I would have is, okay, you've already got the money that you need for Notre Dame. Now what do? The thing that would be nice, and maybe it's a win-win, is let's say you only need $700 million. Just throwing out stupid numbers. To rebuild Notre Dame, you then take $300 million and you do exactly what you're talking about, as the church should do.
Well, the church does. It's
Yes.
called Catholic Charities, and they do tremendous outreach, and they do it not based on religious affiliation. They help people far and wide. Catholic Charities is one of the biggest charitable organizations in our country.
So hang on, that might actually be happening. So it
Yeah.
might turn into that is the catalyst for not only putting back a building that is world renowned, but then at the same time raising some extra funds and creating awareness for.
And it may not be important to you, but that building is probably important and very important to a lot of people.
Oh, it is, no doubt.
Because of what it stands for religiously and spiritually, and that you don't get it because it doesn't mean anything to you, but you can't discount that it's important to somebody else.
Sure. So that was just her commentary on the money that has been raised.
We all put our charitable money where we think it's best suited. And I don't know. I'm never going to tell somebody it's a bad thing to get behind a charity that they believe in. And if they believe in rebuilding this church, they should.
Rebuild it. All right. Let me see here. We've got an interesting show I can't wait to see. Jimmy Kimmel is producing a show with Norman Lear, who used to be back in the game and put together some great shows like All in the Family and The Jeffersons. And they're going to be doing a live in front of a studio audience, Norman Lear's All in the Family and The Jeffersons, a 90-minute primetime special airing May 22nd on ABC. And then they're going to recreate episodes of the two sitcoms.
Oh.
And they've got a pretty good cast already. Woody Harrelson's going to be playing Archie Bunker. Marissa Tomei is playing Edith, his wife. Jamie Foxx is playing George Jefferson. Wanda Sykes is playing Louise Jefferson. And then Will Ferrell is playing Tom Willis.
Okay, they bringing out the big names.
I mean, it's a good cast.
Yeah, it is. It's a great cast. And
Does anybody give a shit? I mean, they're old. They're old shows.
They are. I don't know. I do, and I think what would be interesting to see is if it would take with a new audience. When I grew up, my dad was a big fan of All in the Family. He watched that. And, to me, it was a good first lesson my dad would make a point. He's like, going, look how silly he looks in his bigotry. Archie Bunker, they made this guy look silly because he was a bigot. And what he said, it was stupid and it was funny. And then the Jeffersons was a spinoff on that. They had George Jefferson coming over. And so here you were, this white guy had this black guy in his living room, and they kept putting him in all these situations. You could tell Archie just didn't like it and wasn't comfortable with it.
I love George and Wheezy. That was my favorite.
Yeah, we're moving on up.
Moving on up.
And then George, I think, if I remember right, kind of on the flip side, that was kind of his thing, where he was like, he didn't really like white people. And so you kind of played off of the ignorance of both of these guys and their bigoted views. And a lot of conversation has happened saying, boy, there's no way we could do one of these shows today because people are so sensitive about it. And somebody kind of like said, maybe we need to do one of these shows today.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Because the point of it was to show just how silly it looks that you're ever upset by somebody's skin color and you're going to treat them differently or act in a certain way. And this is how silly you really look. Let's put a mirror up to bigotry and racism and things like that, and let's make fun of it and make that character look like an idiot and silly.
It's going to be interesting to see what kind of content they do because you're right. They made him out to be the boo back in the day, and he was he had racist tendencies, and he's a racist. And now, I don't know if you could do that without people getting all mad to the point where is it going to lose the power or the magic it had? Because you're right. Without Archie and showing what a dick he was, it doesn't work.
It might get people mad, but at the same time, too, it might have a good point, a good purpose, and it might be time to bring something like that out.
Oh, I'm with it.
I'm a fan of it.
But you know how it goes, with the networks.
I do, and it's ABC. And I don't know if you rank them more liberal than the others, but I'd say Jimmy Kimmel is a rather liberal individual,
big time.
And so for the fact that he is involved with something like this, I would imagine this is going to take the tone of it, and that's what they're going to have it do. But to me, I'm one of those people. I love being able to laugh at those things. The last episode they had a Veep. They were in there, and they had this one character. It's kind of the same thing. This guy's this idiot character, and he's so dumb. And he's kind of in the same way you would treat the Archie Bunker. In this case, he's using all these horrible words that you just shouldn't use. And that was the whole thing. They actually put him in sensitivity training. And he just was so dumb. He didn't get how what he was saying was so insensitive. And so in saying what he was actually he wound up getting sued by the sensitivity training officers because he was so insensitive.
Curb Your Enthusiasm, to bring that up twice today. There's not a topic, and think about every offensive topic. I mean, he goes after abortion. He goes after. He has a whole storyline where he's trying to get some yogurt or ice cream, but these women from a women's shelter is crying in the store because they're he goes after women. He makes everything content on that thing. There's nothing he won't touch. Nothing.
Yeah.
And people obviously want to take him off HBO. HBO kind of stays by their people though usually.
They should.
They don't they don't really respond to the mob.
Good. And I really, to me, I like that. I think the more that we kind of throw those things out there, shine a light on it in the nature and the way they're doing. Boy, you can tell Veep is in their last season because, man, they are going for it. They were dealing with abortion, too, on, like, this last episode. And they're like, we don't care. We do not give a damn. Like, they are handling it like, oh, my gosh, like, okay.
Larry David had one where it was all about thanking, every time you see someone who served the country, you got to thank them for their service, and everyone's in the dinner thanks him for his service, and Larry David goes, hey, nice to meet you. He doesn't thank him for his service, and everyone hates Larry because he didn't do that. I mean, he does everything.
Yeah, so I think it'd be interesting. They really, with the cast they have, and with Norman Lear being involved, and Jimmy Kimmel, I think is just a very funny individual. They could make this really good, and it would be interesting if they could reboot and get a fire under this. And hey, if it does great, you can't tell me ABC wouldn't be like going, as much as they bring back shows, you can't tell me ABC be like going, okay, we got something here. This is striking a chord. Maybe America's ready for this, and this is the way to handle some of this stuff.
Yeah, it's worth a try.
Yeah.
We can't be more divided. We have to be less divided.
Yeah.
What the fuck's that mean?
Well, I feel like we're getting more divided.
I'm kidding.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Wow,
McDonald's.
you really shut the room down,
I
Virginia.
know, really. I'm like, maybe that shit didn't fly so good.
Why are you dividing us now?
Sorry, I was moving on to something else. I'll pick up the pace here. McDonald's, that whole signature crafted recipe thing they had apparently didn't work because they're yanking that bacon smokehouse and mushroom and Swiss burgers off the market.
So the custom-made thing is gone?
They're taking it away.
Why?
Because they wanted to try to make themselves fancier, so they rebuilt the McDonald's to try to make them look like Starbucks.
They do look like a Starbucks.
Quit trying to be something you're not.
And then they started putting all these fancy burgers on there to be like Five Guys or BurgerFi or something like that.
Know what you are.
And now they're like, oh, crap, that bacon smokehouse, that didn't work. Yes.
Here's what you need to do, McDonald's. Listen to me. I am your prime target. Come out with the Bigger Mac and make it 4 fucking patties. That's what you need to do.
Oh, jeez.
The Bigger Mac. People like me will buy the shit out of it.
Bigger Mac, heart attack.
Well, yeah, but I know going into it, that's my own decision. That's
Well,
like
maybe
people trying to tell me I can't drink soda.
No, and that's it. I mean, I'm a dude who really is careful what he eats, but man, when I just hear people talking, there's a lot of people, they do not care. They're just like, you know what, I'm gonna eat whatever I want.
Some people want to live life. They don't know how long they're promised here, and they're like, fuck, give me a quadruple Big Mac, please.
Right. There are a lot of people like going, yeah, I do not care. I'm gonna eat whatever the hell I want to eat.
Life is short. Eat something good.
Mm-hmm.
Real good, mama.
That's right.
That wasn't sexual. I was talking about food.
You're not talking about dong sandwiches, are you?
Not this time.
Mm-hmm. So they are jumping out of that market. It'd be interesting to see. I would imagine they're just going to be like, let's stick with what we do. Yeah, you don't. How many damn sandwiches do you need? I mean, honestly, people know I'm going to go there for a Big Mac or a hamburger.
Well, it's like us. If we start, if all of a sudden we're a political show, it's not us, baby.
Ugh, no.
McDonald's, just
do what you do.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. We were talking about fancy cars the other day. There is a really fancy one that's going to be coming out. The Automobili Pininfarina.
What?
I don't know. I mean, what? Automobili Pininfarina. I don't even know what the hell it's called. It's this new hypercar that, tell me if there's any reason why this should be on the road. 1,900 horsepower. It will go to 60 miles per hour in under 2 seconds.
Oh, my gosh.
It's faster than a Formula One race car to 60. So if you were drag racing a Formula One car in this automobile, you would beat it.
Wow.
Yes. They say that it'll hit 180 miles per hour in less time than an F-16 fighter jet.
Oh, my gosh.
Now let's take this thing on I-95.
Please don't.
You can, because apparently they have a retail partnership in Miami, and they're going to be selling these cars here in South Florida. So if I-95 wasn't dangerous enough, welcome to Automobili Pininfarina or whatever it is. Yeah, 50 are going to be sold in the nation. Price tag, that's the question. Price tag, what do you think?
It's got to be insane. So it's going to be way more than the Ashton Kutcher Martin that we talked about the other day.
Yeah.
I would say 400,000.
No, way too high. It's 220.
220,000.
Absolutely.
Okay.
With confidence.
Virginia wins.
In your face, bitch.
Confident has been deleted.
Price tag, $2.5 million.
Shut up. A car is $2.5
million for this automobile. And I know you're going, nobody's going to buy that. They're already committed. All 50 are already claimed.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So, but like I said, there's going to be whatever chunk it is. I think there's like 5 cities. So, like, there'll be 10 or whatever on the roads in South Florida.
Oh, you know there's going to be some coming up from Miami.
Yeah.
They're going to be going so fast.
Oh, my.
Oh, Lord. The cops can't even catch them.
Is there any laws about how fast your car can be to be on a highway?
There is.
What is there? What are those laws?
I believe that there is.
It's called the speed limit. You're only supposed to go 75.
Yeah,
Well, that's why they put that threshold on cars too. So that's what I've been told. Then again, I'm told a lot of bullshit.
My car says it'll go up to like 140 or 150 or even more than that maybe. But I've never tried it.
Oh my gosh, if you got your thing up to 80 into Cuesta, I think you destroy the town. They're not ready for that kind of bullshit.
Cuesta.
Yeah, I never heard about it. I don't know. I mean, is there a law on how fast you can make a car? Because, yeah, you can put up a speed limit. But, okay, let's say you get this car out there. How are you going to catch it? How are you going to catch this vehicle? I mean, you can try to bring out the helicopters and all that, but in South Florida, they don't chase anyway.
You're going to have to put out one of those
you would never catch this car.
Those strip things that blow out the tires.
I don't even know how much they do that. And if you got this car and there's so many damn roads around here.
Ryan G in the chat room. No, there isn't a law of how fast your car can go. They do come with governors, but it's easy to remove.
Yeah, and apparently they ain't even trying to put this bitch on there. There's no governor. They just
Wow.
take it as fast as you want, governor.
Governor?
What is that from? Everyone does that. Governor, they go British. What is that from?
It feels like it's something that would be
Mighty Python? Or
No.
Mary Poppins?
No, it's at what's that damn thing they're showing at the old city place? It's now called Rosemary Square. What's the name of that damn thing? Not Glen. Fuck. What is the name of it?
What are you talking about? Is it a restaurant? A movie?
No, it's that damn TV show. And they're showing it. Remember I said they're showing it this weekend at City Place?
It's, shit. Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey, yeah.
Jesus, my brain hurts now.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I
I'm
wasn't
not
ready
that
for that
smart.
either.
He hits us with a fuck. You go, shit. Boy, that kind of mean for that question to be so brain busting.
Downton Abbey.
Yeah, Downton Abbey. But I don't know. I think it's just something that probably came from a time period that
God, yeah.
they've thrown into a lot of things out there that we
Yes.
watch. They got a lot of those like period piece shows now. My wife is freaking losing her mind. She's watching one called Versailles, I think is the name of it. And it's about Louis the Eighth or something like that. And she's loving it.
Versailles. That's fascinating.
Yeah, so she is all in it. They take basically it's like half truth history, and then they make it like a soap opera.
Oh, I love it.
Oh yeah, she is eating it, just eating that shit right up. Just loves it. And I really can't watch it because I got caught. I got tripped up in one that she was watching one time. I started watching it, and I'm like going, this is more like it's more like something that it's more romance than it is anything about history.
It's like history with lies.
And then I kind of started looking up the history of it. I'm like, they're taking some liberties on this bitch. I'm
Fake
like,
history.
Yeah, so then
So you're researching it?
well, yeah, because here's what's going to happen. I'm watching it, and I'm going to get into some arguments. I'd be like, no, Mary Queen of Scots, and she was one of the characters in it. And I'm going to argue it based on this stupid, whatever
Show.
romance show. And, somebody's going to be like, no, where did you get that from? Be like, well, I watched Mary Queen of Scots. They'd be going, that's actually just, it's The Hills, except it's set in a period piece.
And that's why it's good.
Yeah.
Would you consider something like Mad Men a period piece because it was the '60s and it's all about the advertising? I wonder if you would like Mad Men. I thought it was really
yeah,
good.
People said that. I'd probably get to it.
I didn't like the romance storylines a lot of times, but the stuff in the boardroom and when he's doing the advertising stuff, that is really good shit.
I wish we could get like edits to take out all the love scenes and romance.
Not that I hate a love scene.
Can we get shows that?
But sometimes they put a love scene in there just to fucking get content.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is so...
Well, I can tell. Like I look over, like we'll be watching a show, my wife's eating it up. She just, and I'm like, yeah. So
if it's done good, I understand.
Yeah.
But shit.
I go, yeah, right. I get why they put it in there, but that's what's going on with it. Well, Virginia has got her Cajun Crawfish and Music Fest going down tomorrow.
So are you kind of like the governor of tomorrow? I mean, are you running this town?
I am running the show. I'm the master of ceremonies.
Okay.
And so I'll be on the stage introducing all the bands, and then I'll be running over the cooking demo. So we're going to stagger it. When a band starts, then it's all about the music. As soon as the band stops, then the cooking demo kicks in.
Okay.
And so then we'll be at the cooking demo we'll do cocktails, spicy cocktails.
Would you take this real hard if there was a younger, hotter girl named Veronica from New Orleans and she had all the heat? I mean, everybody was like,
Her doppelganger's there,
Yeah, this Veronica.
She shows up and she's
her
doing
crawfish is so fucking great. It's more New Orleans than Virginia. Fuck Virginia.
Well, nobody's bringing their own crawfish. Like, we have a vendor. Her name is Nancy, and she's doing everything. She's got like 5 booths of Cajun food.
So there's not going to be some hot Veronica that's like cooking better crawfish than you.
Look, if
got
there
Hot Nancy.
is, I welcome Veronica. Hot Nancy will be there cooking. And you know who else is going to be there? All the girls from Monroe's. Monroe's is the stage sponsor, so they're going to have all the girls up there throwing beads.
Really?
It is going to be a legit party.
What if you throw a bead back at him?
It's a good plan, Kev.
I mean, is downtown
Just a
guard?
thought.
Are they ready for this?
I don't know if they are.
Because they are.
Right, they're very family-oriented.
Well, you're talking about strippers and crawfish and
Strippers and crawfish and a buttload of strong cocktails like hurricanes,
Yeah.
hand grenades,
There's going to be some titties out.
Bloody
Oh,
Marys.
There's gonna be titties. There's gonna be a fight.
If we're lucky,
Someone's gonna throw crawfish on someone's forehead.
what's better than titties in a fight?
Then in rolls whatever that weed bus is that Virginia keeps talking about.
We
The
walk
weed
in-
bus is going to be great.
We walk in, Bigfoot sees somebody, he punches him, and then all of a sudden, just like in the movies, everyone's punching everybody. A chair to the head.
I don't want that.
Of course not.
Well, maybe at like 8:30, that'd be awesome. But all day, I want it to be peaceful.
When you're wrapping it up.
Yeah, the event's over at 9. So like at 8:45, if a massive fight breaks out.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that before, like at a bar, where someone gets punched and it does turn into one of those?
Like Roadhouse?
Yeah, like Roadhouse.
I've never seen that.
I've seen it one time, and
Yeah.
it was fascinating how one group and another group got into, and it spilled over into other people, and people just started beating the shit out of everybody. I got the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
You didn't hit?
Hell no.
You didn't get hit?
Hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would want to say a safe distance away from that, but I would be fascinated to watch that.
Yeah. I saw one of those one time. The bar,
You did
whole
too?
bar emptied. Yeah. Mhm.
It happens, man. People
Lightning
are all
in the
drunk.
street.
Never seen that.
Well, what had happened
Yeah.
was the one guy, the two groups are John back at each other. So the one guy pushes the other guy. The other guy falls back into another group. Now they're pissed off. They're drunk. They get in the guy's face. The other guy's friend starts talking shit to that group. It was a fucking mess.
Yeah.
We can't even remember what we were mad about.
Oh, yeah, everyone's mad. Everyone's drunk, and everyone's fighting.
Yeah, I started one of those.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, in Morgantown, West Virginia. I was in college.
What happened?
I went out there and I was with this guy named Feeney. He was this British tennis player, and he was real mouthy and just a horrible drunk.
I'm Feeney. I'm a great tennis
He
player.
was just
Fuck
like that.
you.
He's like, right, fuck you, right, yeah. He was
I'm
like
Feeney.
this.
I
It was
kind of like
Feeney.
that. I like that act.
Yeah, he lived in a closet, oddly
What?
enough. Yeah, he's a very bizarre dude, yeah.
Fuck you. I'm Feeney. I'm the best tennis player ever.
He was like that, yeah. And so I'm with Feeney, and we're kind of, going out around, and there's this other group of guys, and we kept running into them in these bars. And he was loud, and he's like going, look, we don't, shut the fuck up. You guys are annoying. And Feeney's like going, well, fuck you, mate.
Mate.
And so, and I got Feeney's back for some reason.
Oh, well, goodness.
And-
Thank you. I'm sure Feeney felt so safe.
We got Feeney. We got Beatty.
Feeney and
Feeney and
Beatty.
Beatty, and somehow
Between them, they probably weighed 200 pounds.
Somehow we didn't tussle until we walked by this one bar that had a glass front door. And I look in and I saw those guys. And I look at them and they see me. And they start flipping me off and all this stuff. And I do that international wave, bring it on, bitch. I'm like, bring it on. And the guy gets up and he comes out. I'm like, what the fuck? You go, boom, and he hits me. And bam, I'm down. 2-3 guys jump on me, beating the shit out of me, right? I look over to my buddy Josh. He's got his shirt up over his head. Feeney's getting he's got his shirt up over his head. Somebody's whooping Feeney's ass all the way across the street. He's taking off running, beating the shit out of Feeney. So this car stops, and these big black guys get out, and they're going, "Stop picking on that poor kid." And they come over and punch the 3 guys that are punching me.
All
then
right.
a group of guys come running out of the bar. The whole bar's out there, and I somehow get away when those big black guys took out the other 3 guys that are punching the shit out of me.
Aww.
And I kind of like go scraping away, and I turn around and look, and there's about 20 people in the street fighting. The cops came. They shut down all the bars and closed the streets.
I just hope by the end of all of that, Feeney was still going, "Fuck yeah, I'm Feeney. Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm
No,
British."
Feeney disappeared.
Oh, Feeney ran
We
like
never
a
saw him
bitch.
again. I think he got on a plane to England.
He never saw Feeney.
No, Feeney just disappeared.
Oh, Feeney.
Okay, by the way,
Feeney got his ass kicked all the way back to England.
I am a huge fan of this Feeney guy.
Can we find Feeney?
I would love to find him because, I asked my cousin. He played on the West Virginia tennis team with them. And I'm like, what's going on with Feeney? And that's when he told me, he's like, he works at a country club in England and he lives in the ball closet. I'm like, that's what he does? Yeah, he's like, he's homeless, but he gives lessons for beer.
I'm Feeney,
So
I'm homeless, I don't give a shit, fuck you.
he gave tennis lessons just so people buy him beer, and then he went and lived in the closet.
It's quite a story. I'd love to see what he's up to.
I'll talk to my cousin, see if
You
he
think
knows
he's
what
still in the
Feeney's up to.
closet?
I don't know.
I mean, from the Cox brothers, there's a lot of characters in my head.
I'll see if Feeney remembers that night. Yeah.
I picture there's a picture in my head of Feeney, and I always wonder, kind of like how I do with Logan, Ohio. You tell all these stories of Logan, like the pizza crossing, and I've got it in my head what it looks like. I wonder if I'm even close to
He
any of it.
looked like, honestly, the best way to put it, he looked like Ashton Kutcher on meth. That was probably the best way. He was like just disheveled, and hair was going all over the place. And he's a tall, skinny guy because he played tennis. And he was just like, everything was like, right, fuck you. And
Dark hair?
Dark hair.
Dark hair.
Dark hair, Feeney.
I pictured him a gin.
I mean, already the comments are coming in. Feeney, this guy's a legend.
It was unbelievable, yeah. No, I thought Feeney was a legend too.
I'm smitten with Feeney.
We got to look for Feeney.
We do.
Yeah,
we
I have
do.
to see because I'd like to kind of piece that night back together.
Is Feeney on Facebook?
I don't know. And Feeney was his last name.
Feeney is
They just called him
Facebook.
Feeney.
What's his first name?
I don't remember.
Meanie.
I mean, it's been 25 years probably.
Feeney.
Fuck yeah, I'm the best.
Yeah. I'll see if I can't find Feeney. It'd be great to get him on.
I just picture this guy getting punched and still saying, "Yeah, I'm the best."
No, he at first he's like going, "What are you gonna poof?" And I saw he had like a flannel shirt on. I remember he flipped it up over his head, and I saw 2 guys like trying to punch him around his flannel shirt. Hey, fuck Mike! I saw him.
Right.
Fuck this, I'm out of here. Go back to Britain.
I had my hands full getting my ass. Just kicked.
Thank God those guys stopped and helped you.
I thought I think those guys thought I was special needs. Like the way I was, I'm like, the way I was flailing. I think they thought this poor kid.
This is my favorite quote for Feeney in the chat room. Not all heroes wear capes. Completely agree.
Feeney.
Yeah, that was pretty unbelievable. For 420, do we have a story from a stoner? Is there an extra one? I think it'd just be a shame to.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
You need to do this. The people deserve it.
To go into 420 and we don't have one.
Stories from a stoner, yay, nay.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin just gave us a great story about Feeney. Top that.
It
About
is
how I caused
It's
a
tough to
street
follow.
fight.
He just told a really good
Just
story.
killed it.
Oh, snap.
No pressure.
Yeah, you can't. Don't fuck this up, Dennis.
Alrighty.
What do we got here, Denny's?
Well, I'm going to take you back in time to when I was in high school. I was in drama club. I joined the drama club.
Trying to get chicks.
He told me that he never wanted to act. He was always behind the scenes.
Always behind the
Everyone,
scenes.
His entire life has always made him act. And then when he meets me, I'm like,
I was
"Get
in
in front
Little
of the camera,
Shop
bro."
of Horrors. I didn't want to be in. I had to be in all sorts of stuff I didn't want to be in. I liked doing the sound and lights.
Dude, you're that awesome, man. You belong
Yeah.
in front.
You're a star, snack bar.
That's right.
Virginia kind of nailed it because when you go into like a new class that you haven't been in high school, you meet a whole new like group of chicks that you've just never been exposed to, and so you kind of a lot of people kind of went to drama. A bunch of my friends moved to drama and then they left it because they didn't like it. I kind of stuck with it because I enjoyed the technical ends of it.
Okay.
And the chicks.
And the chicks and all the chicks there, they're all like what's the term? Like they're not seasoned. You know what I'm saying? Like they're all kind of like drama chicks. So when it comes to like drinking,
chicks, man.
We don't know what you mean, man.
They're what do you mean? Like they're naive?
more so in the sense that like when it comes to drinking, partying, and all that stuff, they didn't really do that stuff in
Yeah.
high
What
about the
school.
drama
They did that
life?
later in their lives.
Yeah.
At that time, it was about the stage. You know,
Okay,
people
okay.
they were working on their crafts. That's why I don't want to use the term like naive or anything because they weren't.
They were
just,
kind of the heathens that
Yeah,
went
they
out
just
really
were-
tore it
Okay,
up.
they're
yeah.
boring. Okay.
So, but that does appeal too. If you have
If you're the devil,
access to that stuff.
yeah, you're the devil. You want an angel.
Bad boy comes into town. Oh yeah.
They love that
Oh
stuff.
yeah, they do. Okay.
Well, so these two girls in class were very interested in. I think they smoked pot one time before, and they said it was like they're like we did it in a car, and we were all nervous. And I was like, come on over. I'm like, my parents are out of town this weekend, so my parents went on a cruise for like 10 days. So my grandma, who lived in Orlando, came down and was like house sitting my brother and I just to make sure. We're in high school, but
Is
just
your
to
dad's mom or your mom's mom?
my dad's mom.
Dad's mom.
Lived in Orlando.
Gotcha.
And so she came down, she's watching the house and stuff, and it's me and my brother. My brother's out, and I was like, well, I have the house this weekend. I was like, come on by. We can smoke a little weed. I got a big-ass bong. We can get really stoned.
You've
So-
always had a big ass bong, haven't you?
Yeah, I've gone through the game. So I there's a point that it gets to of length that you can't light it yourself. So
It's like you're holding a
2
cello.
feet is about
You
perfect.
need to call a friend.
Yeah, somebody else has got to get to the bottom and
You
light it.
need a spotter.
You need
Okay.
a spotter. So originally, when you're young, you're like, I want the biggest bong you can get, and then you can't light it. There's that night when you're by yourself, you want to take a bong rip, and you can't even.
Leaning against the wall.
You're trying
I've
to, like, use your-
overextended myself.
You got
Yeah.
your foot out.
You're trying to get the
like,
cat to help.
Yeah. So and then best size though is 2 feet. 2 feet is like the perfect size. Just-
Okay.
Keep that in your notes, Kev.
Okay,
Yes.
2 feet's the perfect size. Okay.
Well, 2 feet water bong. So I invited them over. It was just my grandma there, and I was like, "Come on by. We'll get real stoned. I have a big ass bong." But they never smoked out of a bong, so they needed a little instructional. So I was a gentleman back then.
You
so
were,
I was
yes.
like, "Ladies, gather around. Let me teach you how to smoke this bong." So and basically, I don't know if you guys are,
You
keen
got to
on
teach
it.
us too, because we don't know. We're ladies too.
Kevin's high curious. Though.
Yeah.
I am very, yeah.
I love it. So if you have a bong, it's like a tall tube. You fill it with water. It has a stem that goes into the water, and
Okay.
when you pull from it, the water filtrates the smoke, kind of soothes it a little bit, makes it cooler. So when you inhale it, it doesn't
okay.
burn your lungs as bad.
Okay.
It's kind of a nice way to smoke weed, honestly, and get real stoned. So
Oh, what a bonus. I mean, everything you could want.
all right, so.
Such passion in its voice.
I know.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited you guys invited me in for this. and 419.
I mean, yeah, it's a big day.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's on deck.
It is Weed Eve.
It
It's
is
Weed
Eve.
Eve.
So,
Do you put out a stocking or something like that? Hope in the morning it's full of marijuana?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so happy I get to see you tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
This is making my day.
Oh yeah, it's all about them trees, about today and tomorrow. And I actually, I re-upped this week, so kind of weed rich.
I think I saw Denny's on his run the other day.
I did. I think I saw Kevin.
It was like this motley car. I saw Denny's car. It was like, ah! Like, people like, oh, I go, what the hell's he going? It was like 2 PM.
And then all of a sudden, Denny's got this spring in his step.
And then he texts me, he's like, yeah, I'm on a run.
I'm like 420 this weekend. Well, so I got him downstairs. In my old house, we had like a pool deck, and then from the second story, you could walk out on a wooden deck and overlook the pool deck.
Fancy.
It was pretty nice back in the Stewart days, if you will. And so we're downstairs. I'm teaching him the bong. I'm like, you got to fill it with water. You pull it through, breathe it in, hold it, blow it out, and they're loving the instructional. But as I'm instructing them, my grandma starts yelling down at me, embarrassing me, being like, "Denny's, I need you to come up."
She calls it Denny's?
Come up here and give Grandma a foot rub.
Just for
Rub
story's
grandma's
sake.
bunions.
Well, so she's calling me, harsh and everything. So I'm like, all right, sorry, ladies. I'll be right back. Go ahead, start smoking. I'll be right back. No problem. So I go upstairs. I'm like, Grandma, what's up? She's like, I got a headache. I might take a nap or something. Where could I get some aspirin? I was like, I'll grab you aspirin. Just lay down, Grandma. I'll be downstairs with my friends.
Because you're a gentleman.
I'm a gentleman. I'm like, Grandma, I'll
Look
take
at
care
you.
of you.
You're taking care of everybody's needs.
He is.
The girls,
Yeah.
the grandma.
I mean, that's what you do.
You're a
So-
lady
You're
pleaser.
a fucking sweetheart.
So I get my grandma situated. I get the pills. She's laying down. She's got her headache going away. So I go back down to the ladies, and I go to take a big rip, impress them, pack it up fat, and take a giant rip.
Yeah.
And there's
impressive.
no water in it. I take this giant rip. I'm coughing so hard, embarrassed in front of these chicks. And I'm
Right.
like,
You're the guy.
Yeah, you're
I'm
not
like-
the guy to cough, yeah.
I'm telling them how to smoke weed, and then I forget to put water in the bong. I look like a
Oh.
complete chump. So I fill it with water, and I'm like, all right, sorry about that, ladies. I can't believe I'm so amateur. So as I'm putting the water back in for it, my grandma's calling me again because she can't figure out how. We used to have that fancy TV with the remote control. She couldn't figure out how to turn it off.
Grandma, come on. I'm trying to get high with this poon
Trying
over
to get
here.
some pepper, you're killing my buzz.
Yeah, I can't believe you're doing all this with the grandma. grandma in the next room. What?
Oh, dude, I didn't even care back
And you were
then.
juggling.
Yeah, well, it's like
You
Three's
have
Company.
Two chicks
It
smoking
was like
weed.
Three's Company.
Wait for Roper to show up. But yeah, so I go upstairs. I'm like, Grandma, I'm hanging out with my friends. Here, turn off the television. I'm like, just relax, and I'll help you with anything you need. I'm like, they're only gonna hang out for like an hour. She's like, all right, cool. So I go back downstairs, take another rip of the bong, and it's empty. I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, hey, ladies, what's going on? And as I'm saying that, my grandma opens the screen door upstairs, and she's shouting down at me because she can't figure out how to close the blinds.
Oh, I guess Grandma.
I'm like,
I
Grandma,
know. Grandma, you're really harsh in my buzz.
you are ruining
Grandma's
this.
very high maintenance.
Not only are you harsh in my butt, you're kind of cock blocking me,
I
Grandma.
got headaches, the
Yeah.
TV, the blinds. Good
Check-
Lord, Grandma.
Check, it's a puss, Grandma. What are you doing? So I'm like, Grandma, I'll come up. Just chill out. And as I'm doing that, in my peripheral, I see one of the girls grabbing the bong and drinking from it. And I'll be like, oh. And my grandma's like, what are you saying? I'm like, not you, Grandma. So I'm like, go in your room. So I run over and I'm like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be drinking the bong water. Well, since I didn't get through the instructional, they thought the last step was you drink the bong water. And that was the point of a bong, was that you're filtrating the water to get you higher. And the one girl started feeling sick. It ruined my whole day.
Oh,
drank
no.
the bong
She starts barfing
They're
bong
like,
water everywhere.
this is the worst tasting stuff ever. I'm like, you're not supposed to drink it.
Grandma, okay, daddies, come up
My
here.
grandma, I'm like,
They drank the ball.
horrible situation.
I don't know how to flush the toilet.
No pussy. My grandma's on my ass. It was terrible. It was a rough situation.
That is tough. Okay.
It's so funny when you say you joined drama because they were chicks. I did the same thing at aerobics class. You could take aerobics
Aerobics.
in high school. I was the only dude in
In a
aero-
leotard.
It was awesome. There was so many chicks in there. Did you take any classes like that, Kev?
No, I luckily did not take aerobics.
Luckily, no. It was fucking awesome,
I was in
man.
Key Club.
He has some pride.
no, it was the right move.
He got laid the old-fashioned way.
I earned it.
He brought him in
working.
with his mullet.
All right. Well, there we go.
Aw,
420 on deck, and we got nothing but smiles in here. Oh, yeah.
nailed it.
Good stuff. All right, well, you guys have an amazing weekend, and we will talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.